Let me tell you something you already know deep down. Motivation doesn't last. It fades. That I am ready to change my life energy you feel after watching an inspiring video or hearing a powerful speech. It's gone by tomorrow morning when your alarm rings at 6 a.m. And that's why so many people quit. They think they need motivation every single day. But the truth is, motivation is overrated. What actually changes your life is consistency, doing what you need to do, even on the days you don't feel like it. I learned this lesson through the story of a guy named Amir, and trust me, by the end of his journey, you'll understand why discipline beats motivation every single time. Amir was like a lot of us. He wanted to change his life. He dreamed of getting healthier, starting his own business, and just feeling proud of himself again. He'd get these bursts of motivation after scrolling social media or watching a TED Talk. He'd say, "This time it's different. This time I'm going to stick with it." But here's the problem. Every time he started, he stopped. He'd sign up for the gym, go hard for a week, then miss a couple of days, then never go back. He'd buy books about business, read a few chapters, and then let them collect dust. He kept chasing motivation like it was a magic pill. And every time it wore off, so did his progress. Months passed, then years. He kept telling himself, next Monday, next month, next year. And before he knew it, he was 30 years old, sitting on his couch, heavier than he'd ever been, broke, and ashamed of how many times he'd quit on himself. One night, he looked at himself in the mirror and thought, "What's wrong with me? Why can't I stick with anything?" But here's the twist. Nothing was wrong with him. He just didn't understand the difference between motivation and consistency. One morning, Amir was venting to his uncle, who was this quiet, disciplined man. His uncle just listened, then asked him a simple question. "Amir, do you brush your teeth every day?" "Yeah," Amir said, confused. "Why?" "Because, well, I don't want my teeth to rot." His uncle nodded. "Exactly. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You brush them because it's a habit. That's what discipline is. Doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it." That conversation flipped a switch in Amir's mind. For the first time, he stopped chasing motivation and started focusing on consistency. He promised himself one thing: no matter how small, he would show up every day. So instead of going to the gym for 2 hours, he started with 20 minutes of walking every single day. Instead of trying to read a whole book, he committed to reading just 5 pages daily. Instead of waiting for inspiration to start his business, he gave himself 30 minutes each evening to work on his ideas. At first, it felt too small, almost silly. But day after day, those small actions stacked up. 20 minutes became 40. 5 pages became chapters. 30 minutes of brainstorming turned into a real business plan. And here's the key. Because it was small and consistent, he didn't burn out. He didn't quit when he wasn't motivated. He just kept showing up. 6 months later, Amir looked in the mirror. Again, he almost didn't recognize himself. He'd lost weight. His face looked sharper. He carried himself differently. His little side hustle had turned into a small online store that was actually making money. And the best part, he wasn't relying on bursts of motivation anymore. His progress came from discipline, from showing up when it was boring, from doing the work when no one was cheering for him. That's when he realized motivation might get you started, but it's consistency that carries you to the finish line. Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright and fast, but consistency, Consistency is the firewood that keeps the flame alive long enough to actually warm your life. So let me ask you, where in your life are you waiting to feel motivated? Is it working out, studying, starting that side project? Stop waiting. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is where the real power is. Start small, do it daily, make it a habit, and soon you'll look back at your life the way Amir did and say, wow, I actually became the person I always wanted to be. Because in the end, success doesn't come from doing something once in a while when you're inspired. It comes from what you do every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. That's the power of consistency.